my solid, yeah. You're my pillar, you're my pilot. I mean, I look at what you made, and everything is special. Gigi Mojilo, you're the one I call. Like oh baby, so come. I need you, only you, in each and every way, on each and every day. There's something I can't replace. Gigi Mojilo, you're the one I call. Like oh baby, so come. I need you, only you, in each and every way, on each and every day. There's something I can't replace. Of all that there is, you're the surest. There's no probability you've been here the longest. My melody, keep that fella say you're the highest. There's no contest, no matter who you are. When I'm up, you're my spiral. You're my backbone, my spinal. Me, I do everything.
Right. Yeah, I'm back again. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session this evening. My name is Omolara Sonny, and I'm a co-founder at Middleman. Middleman is an escrow payment platform that allows vendors and buyers to conduct secure and reliable online transactions. Today, we are having a very interesting topic, an important topic, if you ask me. And on the call today, we have one of my favorite entrepreneurs in Nigeria right now, Oluremi Martins. She has built an amazing business, Natural Girl Wigs. You might want to check that out, to be honest. They are doing amazing. And it's a pleasure to have her here sharing her knowledge with us this evening. And also, she also shares her knowledge freely online. If you follow our community at the Ecom Collective, there's going to be a link in the chat for you to follow them. They share a lot of tips for e-commerce businesses, how to grow your business, how to scale, and how to sell to a global market, which I believe is like one of the major goals of every business owner. And also, if you're a business owner on this call, you definitely agree with me that this year has been really tough, especially the last couple of months with the whole exchange rates. The economy is literally in shambles, right? And for a country where a lot of the population do not have enough disposable income to spend on things that are not their it sort of became even worse in the last few months, and people have little or nothing left to spend after they've taken care of their basic needs. And this is because the cost of those basic needs have skyrocketed over the last couple of months. But despite all of this, I believe that there are strategies for businesses like you to still take some of this little money that people have to spend, and that is why we are doing this evening. Hi, Oluremi, good evening.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me. Sorry about my voice, I'm a bit under the weather, but yes, thank you for having me, and it's great to be here.
Thank you so much. Without wasting our time, I'm just going to dive right in. So like I said earlier, there is very little that people have now to spend on stuff that are not necessarily their basic needs. So Oluremi, how can small businesses still effectively prepare for Black Friday and end of the year sales?
So in preparing for Black Friday or end of the year sales, like most of your customers during this period are people that are already your customers. You are most likely going to be getting orders and sales from people who already know about your business, who have been, shopping with you, or who have not been shopping, but they know about you. They're thinking of buying one or two things, but maybe they've been waiting around for a discount, or they've not just like had any significant push. to get them to buy. So Black Friday or sales, I can hear myself. I'm not sure if it's the network. But yeah, Black Friday or sales is typically sort of like a nudge, like, oh, this thing I've always wanted. It's now 20% or it's now 50% discount. Let me quickly, add it to cart. In terms of like interest, I believe that people would always buy the things they want to buy, regardless of the economy, which is very interesting because, I mean, for example, you would think that products in the beauty category are not necessities, right? It's not food, it's not housing, but year on year, these businesses continue to grow in Nigeria, globally. Like, people are still going to buy things because it brings them some sort of like joy, some sort of satisfaction. Yes, I'm not able to save anymore, but I want to look good. I want to like wear good hair. I want to like, just do things that will make me happy. So I think what is important is that you are selling products that people need, things that, actually spark joy for people, things that, probably better than what other people are selling. If you are able to find that balance, there will always be some sort of like demand for the products that you sell. It's now then how to make it, how to sort of like how to give people a nudge to actually want to take that action, because in e-commerce there's a difference between people getting people's attention, getting people's interest, and then actually getting them to like make a decision to purchase your product. So therein lies the strategies you have to then deploy to get people from like that interest stage to action. I would say interest depends on the product itself. Like, is the product solving a problem? Solving a problem doesn't mean it's solving like a life critical problem. Like, is it going to make me look good? Is it going to substitute like me buying 10 other skincare products, for example? Sorry. For example, if you are selling skincare products that maybe sort of like a 3-in-1, I know people are, really hyped about things like hydration, things like hyperpigmentation and stuff like that. In this economy, people would most likely want products that can, solve like 2 problems for them, so that they won't need to like buy multiple. Or even if it's solving 1 problem, does it solve that problem in a really remarkable way that would make people want to still pick that product? So in terms of like getting people interested, getting people's attention, the product is key. Like, it needs to be really distinct for people to like actually be interested. Other things that make people interested also is what other people are using those products, like showing me that, okay, a lot of women are using these products because it's just the best product, right? People FOMO a lot, which is like fear of missing out. So showing people that other people are using it, demonstrating that it actually solves a problem. Those are the ways you can actually get people interested. In terms of like action, getting people to actually take action, you want to like show people that other people are using this. You have few products left. The sales is going to wrap up in 2 days. There are technical tools you can use on your website to sort of like, give people that need to just quickly add to cart, etc. And just like other things that you can use to nudge people to like buy instantly. I think that as an e-commerce business or any kind of business selling online, you need to be able to like understand what is bringing people to, be interested in your products and the things that will actually make them buy immediately. So understanding FOMO, understanding how to use like social proof, very important. Social proof is like another topic entirely, but leveraging social proof, like, in a very big way is very important. If you have customers that have shopped your products, that love your products, now is the time to like really put reviews in people's faces. Now is the time to tell people the many things that they can do with one product. Now is the time to show people that you've had customers working with you for 2 years or 1 year and they really love it. They are so obsessed with your product. Now is the time to let people know that you have customers that have shopped with you 24 times because like the product is just like that's good, right? So those are the kind of things, example of things to like get people and nudge people to actually shop with you. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much. I also understand that you consult for e-commerce businesses. And I know that answering the first question, you already touched on some strategies, but I would really like for you to go like a little deeper into some of the strategies that you've seen worked for businesses you've consulted for, and even your own business as well, Natural Girl Wigs. Certain strategies that you use to sort of like build excitement and anticipation on the days and even weeks leading to Black Friday and end of the year sales.
Yeah, to be honest, as I've said, it's still the same thing. You need to use Black Friday period to talk about your customers that have enjoyed your product or your service, to like dig into your product strength. By product strength, what are the multiple things people can achieve with your product? What is the best feedback you've gotten on your product? Like, how wide have people purchased your product from and give the most remarkable reviews? This is just the time to like show the strength of your product. Say, for example, you have like 5 best-selling products. I would literally break down each single product. What are the different, angles I can use to convince people that this product is remarkable? It could be the set price, the price point. It could be the multiple use cases of the product. It could be how diverse the product works, like maybe whether you're light-skinned or dark-skinned, or whether you have like stubborn hair in quotes, or whether you have like fine textured hair, you can still get like the best use of this product. How long this product will typically last compared to like competitors. Again, it's about understanding your own product first, because things like this are sort of like there isn't like one answer, but it's just to summarize everything. It's like understanding your product, breaking down the several use cases, the advantages that customers would benefit from purchasing your product, and then finding interesting content angles to sort of like explain those things. Like, there isn't like any shortcut. You have to like do that job. Go back into your customer reviews. What are the most remarkable customer reviews you have? How can you present it in a way that consumers or your customers are going to actually engage with it? Because you don't want to be posting things during Black Friday or the weeks coming to Black Friday and nobody is seeing it. So it's important that you're also using interesting content angles to actually promote and to actually like, present these things. These things are very important. As I've said before, Black Friday is the period where people who are shopping with you are more likely people who have already shopped with you before, or people who are, they've been following your page, they know about your brand, but for some reason, they've actually not purchased. Some of them are not necessarily waiting for a discount, but they've just not been like anything like extra to push them. So Black Friday or discounts are things you can use to nudge people. So you also want to look at the products that people have been adding to cart the most, the products that people have been purchasing the most, or even products that you have on your shelf, but they've not really been moving and you really need the cash back, right? These are the times to like go into like these products, find angles, find unique points that you can use to like sell them. In terms of like my clients, these things are the things I would tell like any of my clients, to be honest. It's just like using content to like drive your product angles. And these are the things that I've seen worked for myself and for people that I've worked with in the past as well. So understanding your products, knowing the products that sell the most, and finding great content angles that would make people actually engage this post. And also, one final thing I have to say is make sure that your Black Friday discount or your Black Friday sales is as straightforward as possible. Black Friday, I would advise that you can experiment before Black Friday to see what people would want, the kind of discount people would want, or the kind of deals that you should present. But on Black Friday, people want to make quick decisions. There are a lot of brands that are, giving people discounts. So it's about fighting for customer dollars, right? So you want to make sure that your discounts are very straightforward. Is it 30% across the website? Is it 20%? Is it buy one, get one free? But you don't want a situation whereby you now start telling people if you add 3 products to cart, you get 15% on the 4th one, or just making the discounts very complicated. And also on your website, you also want to ensure that your website is loading as fast as possible. It's easy for people to check out, things like that. Because once people add to cart and there's so much friction for them to actually check out, they're probably going to shop with the next person, right? So you also want to ensure that in as much as you're working on your strategy and everything, the platform that people are shopping from, even if it's from your Instagram as well, things are as straightforward as possible. That's super important. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Oluremi. You keep answering some of the questions that I planned to ask you in the previous answer. So for now, the next question is I think sometimes it can be tricky for businesses when they want to run sales like this. And sometimes if they are not careful to make like their calculations very well, they might actually end up running into a loss, right? And I would like you to share some insights on how to create compelling promotions and discounts without compromising profitability for the business.
I think this is a problem that has to be solved even before Black Friday. It's so interesting because I was having this conversation just 2 weeks ago where there's a common assumption with businesses where it seems like Black Friday is just a day for you to just sell. It doesn't matter whether you're making profit or not. And that's couldn't be further from the truth. Your pricing strategy itself has to come correct so that your Black Friday, you don't end up running at a loss. And for product businesses, this means what are your margins? If your margins are below, your profit margins are below 30%, for example, then automatically you can't run a sale that is more than 15% because you still need to factor in your marketing cost and stuff like that. So I would say that you need to first think about your profit margins. What are your margins on your products? That should always that should always help you make a decision for the kind of sale that you run. Do not run a sale that is competing with your profits, your margins. Don't do that. So if your margins are 40%, for example, you can afford to run a, say, 40% discount again because your margins accommodate that. But if your margins are from like 15, 20, 30%, I would say that you should always keep your discounts below that so that you still have something sufficient. Black Friday doesn't mean that you should be selling at your cost price. No, don't do that. So a lot of brands do this before Black Friday, say a month before Black Friday, they actually start adjusting their pricing, right? People see it and people think, oh, wow, why are you doing that? And that's because those brands have actually, their pricing strategy is not like sound. But when they want to then do Black Friday, they realize that, oh, we have to actually quickly go and increase our price. So I would say that if you don't have your pricing margins enough to, like, you don't have the margins that accommodates like a very good sale number, this is the time to probably adjust your pricing a bit. But if you have margins that accommodate sales, then you can, fly as high as you want, obviously still within limits. So that's what I would say. Make sure that your pricing margin is tight, but also ensure that you are discounting for sales in alignment with what your margins already are.
Right. Thank you so much for that. For anyone that follows Oluremi on social media, you would see that she shares like a lot of stuff about running her businesses, sharing milestones and all of that. If you don't mind, is there an exciting story of how Natural Girl Wigs has sold out in such a short period of time? Any interesting one that you'd like to share with us? You probably did not expect that this particular product is going to sell out in such a little time. Maybe you already predicted 1 month and then you sold out in, say, 2 weeks or something.
We've actually had a couple of those, but I would say that one of it is like our pineapple wig. I mean, when we wanted to like make the product, we knew that it was going to be like, something that people would want to buy because again, we know that our customers love things they can just throw on, and those are the kind of people we're creating products for. But then I think 2 or 3 people purchased the product and shared reviews that got over 500K views on TikTok. And that sort of like sold us out. Our first product that sold, I think, 2,000 pieces in a week, which was like really crazy for us as a business in terms of like the logistical and like operational nightmare. But yeah, I would say like that's like the crazy ones.
All right. I think your last statement brings me to my next question. Like, how can businesses prepare for the unexpected? Like, basically, you selling 2,000 pieces in 1 week. how can they prepare themselves in terms of operation and logistics, like lessons that you learned during that period for Natural Girl Wigs?
To be honest, I don't think there's one thing I can say here. Like that's a very different conversation from like sales. Yeah, I don't really think there's one thing I can say. The only lesson for that is, communicate. If there's anything can happen, like communicate to your customers and just ensure that people are given options to, if you're not able to like process products in a reasonable period of time, you can give people the option to maybe what's it called, like get a refund. And if you can promise within a time frame, you can communicate that. But the advice I would give is just to be big on communicating with your customers. But I'm not sure like there's any compound operational advice I can give within the limited time.
All right. Thank you so much. My next question is about how to some of the mistakes and pitfalls that you would advise on businesses to prepare against, so they don't like mistakes they shouldn't find themselves in as they prepare for their Black Friday and end of the year sales.
One thing I would say is takes me back to communication. Be very clear on the timeline for people to get their product. Be very clear on the no refund sale policy. Typically, when people do like mega sales, there's usually not a refund policy. But if you do not make that very clear, some customers might not get that because, I mean, consider the fact that you're already selling at a very little margin, which is probably you may be getting like 5% or 10% profit if you typically like make 20. So imagine then having to deal with like returns or like sending a new product. So you don't want to deal with that. Ensure that if you have like a website or even on your Instagram, let people know what the terms and conditions for like the sales are. That really like helps you and to like avoid problems that has to do with that. Also be very clear on the timeline for sales period. Typically, if you deliver products within like a 1 to 2 day delivery timeline, during sales period, if you're doing very well, you might not be able to deliver to every customer within that time frame. And you don't want people like money that you've already hyped yourself for making in a day. You don't want to start refunding. So make sure that you communicate to customers very clearly. Another thing I would say is be very careful about how low you go. Again, you don't want to like sell at a loss just because it's Black Friday. Also, Black Friday is a good time to actually retain customers. As I said before, there are people who have known your brand who have not patronized from you before, and Black Friday will be the first time they're patronizing. Ensure that you're still delivering like a good customer experience because you want them to come back for the non-sales days, because that's when you actually make money from those customers. So ensure that you're still delivering like the great value. Ensure that you are still giving people what they actually ordered. Don't say because people are getting this product that's like a very cheap price, let me just give them products that I would typically not sell. Very, very important. And also data. I would say that during Black Friday, you also want to get as much customer data as you can via email, ensuring that your pixels on your website are well captured, because you are going to get a lot of like audience visits that typically might not happen on a normal day due to the Black Friday and sales rush. You want to ensure that you're getting this data so that you can remarket to them one way or the other. That's actually a very huge thing that I see a lot of businesses not do, and it's a very valuable thing. I think top of my head, those are the things I would typically say, don't make those mistakes, or ensure you do these things.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been, even though it's a short session, I believe our audience have taken a lot of notes. Personally, I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for sharing. But I would really love for us to take like one or two questions from the audience before you leave. Guys, if you have any question, you can just unmute your mic, introduce yourself, your business, and go ahead to ask your question. Any question, any question? Okay, so in the absence of question, Oluremi, let me just use this opportunity to ask for your feedback basically about what Middleman does, and what was like, how did you navigate trust issues when you started building Natural Girl Wigs? Like, were customers willing to pay you before delivery, despite the fact that it's a new business?
Yeah, I would say that most customers were willing to pay, and I think that trust is building trust with customers, especially for like online businesses, sometimes is a function of design, sometimes is a function of like your content, is a function of your branding. There are ways you sort of like design these things into how you portray yourself online to sort of like build trust with customers. And I think that's one of the things that we're very key into. For customers who still didn't trust us, we just found a way to communicate to them that we respect your decision. Would love for you to follow us, and hopefully one day you're able to like, trust us enough. But this was really in the early days, right? Right now, I don't think we deal with any of that. It's mostly maybe just customers like emailing on and trying to clear, especially our international customers, maybe clarifying like one or two things that they have questions about. And we've invested in like customer experience and just designing our customer experience system in a way where we're able to like give people answers. So I wouldn't say we really had that problem. I think very early on, I knew that you had to like design trust in your content, in your branding, and in the way you position your business online. And also like e-commerce adaption or adoption rather is also increasingly high, right? And also if you're not really selling products that are very expensive, in this day and age, with how people are so used to shopping online, you might not necessarily have that problem.
All right, thank you so much. There's one question in the chat. Can I go ahead to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the person says, what's the best way to craft Black Friday sales content for your products for school kids, e.g. books, bags, bottles, etc., considering that parents have different levels of income, but the children needs remain the same?
So what I would say is, first, it does seem like you're overthinking this. If you're already in the business, then you already have like your target audience, right? It's a simple thing. What's the price that your target audience already like buy things, right? Black Friday is not the time for you to now start saying, I want to try and sell. If you're already selling books of like 5K, now you want to go and target people that maybe they don't even buy things online. It's 500 naira books they buy by the roadside. They're not your customers. You shouldn't be worrying about them. You shouldn't be targeting them. If you're already selling things at 5,000 naira, parents that already follow you would be happy to get like a 20% discount or a 25% discount. Is that straightforward? In terms of like crafting content to like, attract them, I would say just saying that, you've been buying these books for this price. This is the time for you to get started. Discounts that would never come back, right? What kind of discount is there? What kind of like content is already performing very well on your page? Or maybe try to do a bit of competitor research. What kind of content is performing on your competition's page? How can you make that, like create that in your own style, in your own brand voice? But again, just put the best discounts that you can offer based on your business margins on the product that you already sell, to the customers you already sell for, to the parents that already shop with you. People really need books for their school, for their kids. They really need these things for their kids. It doesn't matter if incomes are at different levels. It's still the customers that already buy from you before that are going to buy now. So giving them a good discount obviously will attract them, especially if you're selling something that they really need, which goes back to your product. This is not the time to start introducing new kinds of products. Like if products that are already doing well on your page before, maybe you were selling maybe like 10 pieces a week. You want to sell 50 pieces a week because it's Black Friday. So you give people a discount that will make them actually want to buy. And also maybe look for different angles, things I've already shared before on this video. Look for different angles that you can use to sell these books, bags, or bottles to parents who are already following you, right? Share reviews from parents on the quality of your bags, because that is important. I know that in as much as parents want to save costs, And this matters to them because they want to look out for bags that their children will be able to use for 2-3 years, right? So you can share content around those angles. Parents are also looking for, products that will make their kids stand out. I know that, parents want their children to stand out. So creating content around things like that will significantly, draw people's attention, and then make sure that your discount is worth it. But as I've said, like, you shouldn't be worrying about income levels. You already have like how much you're selling your things, and you already have like a target audience in mind. And those are the people you most likely be selling to, even during Black Friday.
All right.
Hello?
Thank you so much. So in the absence of any question, I would just like you to sort of like give your final words to encourage businesses on the call today, who are probably preparing for their first Black Friday sales or end of the year sales. You are muted, Oluremi.
Oh, okay. So I was saying that one thing I would say is don't be too hard on yourself. In as much as you're trying to get like advice and feedback and like tips and all of that from everywhere, your own data is the most important thing. Like, what are customers already shopping? What are the best reviews that customers are giving you? What are the incentives that would make your customers typically want to shop? Look into your own data. That's very important. Another thing is also use Black Friday as a time for you to learn new things. Your this Black Friday might be successful, but you might have an even better successful one next year. So make sure that in as much as you are doing like all of these things you want to do, watch out for the things that perform well. Watch out for the things that I might even say yeah, but might not perform for you. So maybe it's not the best thing for you to do. So make sure that you are listening. You are doing a lot of like just observing the things that are working, a lot of using your own data, and a lot of maybe asking customer questions as well. So maybe like a few weeks after Black Friday, you can ask your customers why they shopped with you, or you can also look at your website backend to look out for the products that we're adding to carts, but we're not really shopping, and try to like find the answers into that. Before Black Friday, make sure that you are looking at your data in terms of like your best-selling product, your products that are not moving. What are the things you can do to like just sell them out during Black Friday? Do you want to do like a super mega discount on them so that you can just get cash back into your business? So just looking into your own business to find answers for yourself is very important, because at the end of the day, anybody can share tips, apps, and whatever. Take them, but also look at the things that are very peculiar to your own business and your own customers. Very important.
All right. Thank you so much, Oluremi. Thank you so much for doing this with us. We really appreciate. To everyone that has stuck around since the beginning of this call, thank you so much. We would like to take some minutes to show you around on how Middleman works and how you can use our platform to increase sales. Oluremi, thank you so much. You can leave the call. Please take care of yourself and have a wonderful evening. You're muted, Oluremi. Please just speak. All right. I'm going to hand over to Adeola now. He's also a co-founder at Middleman, to just give us like a quick and short demo of how Middleman works. Adeola, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi everyone, good evening. I hope you've had a beautiful evening. Thank you so much for joining this conversation. It's been very productive so far, and I appreciate everyone's presence. I mean, the recording will be shared with everyone. It's also been repurposed across all our social media. So if there's anything that you've missed so far, you're going to be able to get a recap. You're going to be, sorry, give me a minute. you're going to be able to watch it later, to catch up on anything that you may have missed. Right. So I mean, this part of this conversation is only going to I'm only going to be talking for the next say 10 minutes. And I just want to pretty much share again, what Middleman is, what we have built and how we are helping helping businesses transact more securely and also make more sales. Right. So in few words, Middleman is an escrow payments platform that pretty much allows businesses make more sales and tackle the problem of payments on delivery, or in simpler words, the trust problem, right? So the typical way Middleman would work for you is in a scenario where you sell products online, you have customers who are always requesting for payments on delivery. Perhaps customers are outside of your city, perhaps outside Lagos or wherever it is that you are based, and then you need to you're losing sales because they don't want to pay before delivery, right? And then you also don't want to send a package all the way to Bayelsa, and hope that they're going to pay you when the goods get to them, right? So we built Middleman to solve this problem, and we've been doing that for almost 150 different vendors over the last couple of weeks, right? So in simple words, what Middleman does is he helps hold the money. I mean, so we don't hold the money per se, but with the Middleman bank account or with the Middleman wallet, when you share your Middleman account with the customer, and the customer pays into the account, the customer gets an OTP, or we would like to call it the release code, right? So the customer gets an OTP code, that they hold on to. So I mean, they send the money, and then they hold on to the code, because the code is like that, their sense of gives them an extra sense of security, right? So then you've gotten the money is showing in your wallet. You can see that it's there, but you can't withdraw it yet into your bank account until the customer gives you the code, right? But then the fact that the customer has committed, the customer has already made payments, they've committed to the transaction, so you're sure, okay, this person is actually willing to buy it. This person is not trying to just mess with me, right? Then you cannot go ahead and deliver your product and the product to the customer, and then upon arrival and satisfactory delivery, you get your OTP from the customer to unlock your money from your Middleman wallet, right? So that's what we have built in very simple terms. I have a video here, a demo video that I would like to play. I don't know if we have enough time. I think it would help, give some more insight into how Middleman works. I think we'll just watch like the first 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll just send you the rest of the video via email. We'll send it to you via email. So I'm just going to share my screen now. Give me a second. I mean, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat box. So the interesting thing is that Middleman is perhaps one of the earliest products that solves this trust problem in the market. So it's okay if you have a lot of questions. It's okay if you have a billion questions. Please ask them. We released an FAQs. We have our FAQs page live right now on our website. If you also have questions, you can check our FAQs page to get answers to some of the other questions that you may have. Right. Okay. So the video is going to come up in a minute now. I'm trying to share my screen. Where optimize for video. Can't find the text. Apologies, please. Okay, found it now. I'm just going to share my screen. Sorry, screen is not sharing. This thing was doing that also. Okay. All right. Please confirm that you can see my screen over there. I'm going to assume that my screen is.
Yes, I can see it.
In this video, we are going to show you how Middleman works. If you're an online business or an online vendor that sells products or services, and you usually have customers request for payments on delivery, or you usually insist on customers into my Middleman app and create a new payment for my customer whose name is Chidinma. So I'm going to click on new payment, after which I'll be prompted to fill in Chidinma's details. So here I'm going to put Chidinma's name. Chidinma is buying a product of 2,000 naira from me. Chidinma's WhatsApp number is 070, and then our email address is also this. Then I will click on the button that says create payment. Once I click on the create payment button, middleman then generates the account details that I am supposed to send to Chidinma so that she can make payments into. Also, immediately, middleman sends Chidinma a payment prompt which contains the bank details, the release code for this transaction, and also a unique dispute link. So if I check Chidinma's messages now, Chidinma is going to get an SMS that says something like this: "Hi Chidinma, Venia's King created the payment of this for you on middleman. This is the release code and this is your unique dispute link." Chidinma also gets the payment prompt in her email, and it looks something like this. Then Chidinma will go ahead and make the transfer. So on my end now as the vendor, I can see Chidinma's payment under the payments tab, and it displays as pending because I'm waiting for Chidinma to go ahead and make her payment. If I tap on this, I'm going to see the details of the transaction. Now we are going to wait for Chidinma to make her payment. So at this point, Chidinma has done a payment, or has made a payment. Now as a vendor, I'm going to go back to my middleman app to look at the status of Chidinma's transaction. As you can see, it has disappeared from the pending tab, and it will now be displayed under the received tab. On the dashboard, under recent payments, you can see clearly here that Chidinma has made a payment and the payment has been received. I, as a vendor, will then proceed to deliver Chidinma's sneakers to her. After my dispatch rider gets to Chidinma, it is time for me to claim my payment. So, assuming at this point my dispatch rider has gotten to Chidinma's doorstep, and Chidinma has received a pair of sneakers and she's happy with what has been delivered, I will then click on this toggle and to claim my payment. Then the moment I click on claim payment, middleman requests or requires me or demands that I request the confirmation code from Chidinma. This confirmation code is the same one that was sent to her the other day when I created the payment, right? And that is the one that was sent via SMS, as you can see here, and it was also sent to her via email. So all Chidinma has to do now is just send me my release code so that I can unlock my payment. So as a vendor, once I go back to the middleman app, I just need to type in my release code 5600. Once I click on confirm, successful. My money has been successfully claimed, and it will now be withdrawn straight into my bank account as a vendor. So this is simply how middleman works. On the dashboard now, you can see that Chidinma's payment has been tagged as claimed. That is, I have withdrawn the money and the money is now in my bank account. So let's check if I have gotten an alert. Okay, so my money has been withdrawn into my bank account, and you can see it at the bottom here, a 2,000 naira credit that says wallet withdrawal for Chidinma. So that is essentially how middleman works. A middleman helps tackle the problem of payments on delivery.
So if you're an online vendor and you sell things online and you have a difficulty convincing customers to pay you upfront or to pay you before delivery, all you need to do is create a middleman account and become a middleman vendor. With a middleman account, your customers have an extra sense of security dealing with you, and they are happy to pay you upfront into your middleman account while still feeling safe that you are not going to scam them or that the transaction is still within their control. However, in the event that Chidinma is not satisfied with what was delivered to her and she wishes to raise a dispute, all Chidinma has to do is click on this link, on the dispute link that was sent to her by middleman, and fill the short form that is displayed. The dispute link opens like this, and all she has to do is fill the short form, to log a dispute, and then the vendor will be notified of this dispute, and middleman will also step in to mediate the transaction and ensure that both parties are happy.
Okay, that's about it. That's a very simple. I thought we were only going to watch 2 minutes of that video, but it looks like we're able to finish it. Yeah, so that's simply how middleman works. If you have questions, do we have questions? I think we still have like 9 more minutes before this call is due. So if you have questions, please feel free to raise your hand or mute yourself. We can have a quick conversation, just to like take the questions and your concerns, and and address them immediately. I'd also like to know if you find this exciting. Do you have this problem? Are you facing these challenges? Does this excite you? Are you going to use it? All that feedback are important to us. It looks like no one is raising their hand, and no one is also unmuting themselves. In that case, I think it's safe to call it an evening then. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. It's a Sunday evening, you should be resting and having fun with family. Thank you again for being a part of this. We appreciate it. Mamalara, is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything that we need to? Mamalara, over to you now. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Like Adela said, we'll share the recording of this session with you, and we are going to be hosting several sessions in future. So just basically helping small businesses navigate this very tough entrepreneurship journey. Thank you so much, guys.
Kini mura, sini, kini silver, kini capital. I never trade you for nothing. See me as I am, I'm rolling, babe. We're intertwined, oh, I fill out your mind. See me as I am, I'm staggering. For your love's a rarity, it's very hard to find. Oh, let me soaking, oh, let me delo. Oh, watching them up, oh, let me delo. Oh, for me, la la, for your head. Cole seni, ma seni, tale for your way. Oh, let me soaking, oh, let me delo. Oh, watching them up, oh, let me delo. Oh, for me, la la, for your head. Cole seni, ma seni, tale for your way. We're locked in harmony.